Thanks for stopping by. What I want to talk about today is what a post I did a long time ago, back in like 2012. It was a blog entry I did. It's on the Sales Genius Live blog if you want to check it out. But it's called Clean the Lenses, right? So if you can't see the goal, how can you hit it? Think about that for a second, right? One of the things that it really inspired me to start talking about this subject was anybody ever grabbed like sunglasses from a little kid, right? And you grab those sunglasses, or they took your sunglasses, you know, and like I'll use like my readers, right? And for some reason they've got to put their fingers all over it and do all this, right? And then you go to look at it, you grab it and take it from them, you're like, hey, I can't see anything out of here, right? All you see is fingerprints and smudges and everything else. And you're like, how can this child wear them and still see the world in front of them? Well, this happened when my son Mason was probably like 4 or 5 years old. And he had taken my glasses and he put them on and he's wearing them for a while. And then when he hands them back to me, I looked at it and I was like, wow, okay, this is horrible. I looked and I said, Mace, right? Why is it that the glasses are so smudged? How can you even see? What do you do? Why do you put them on? How you can't even see anything, right? And he looked at me and he goes, I wasn't looking at the fingerprints, right? I was looking out there and I just look cooler with the glasses on, right? And I have to admit, he did look a lot cooler with the glasses on, but all of a sudden that like, boom, there goes my head, right? As we get older, we tend to end up programmed to look for the smudges in our life and not focused on where we're going. Okay, how often are you driving around, you got a perfectly clear windshield, right? And then splat, right? The big juicy bug sacrifices himself right onto your windshield to ruin your driving experience. And then from that point forward, you find yourself focused. Actually, no, a better word is going to be infatuated with that one little smudge that's sitting right there. And you're looking at the remnants of this sacrificial bug that's up on the windshield. And it just drives you crazy because you can no longer see, right, that the rest of the windshield is still there that you can see out of. Okay? Ask yourself, where else does this happen in your life? And then how often do you find yourself obsessing on that one part of life that's broken instead of appreciating the 90+% of your life that's rolling along smoothly or is clear what you can see going forward? One of the best things about life is that it just keeps going forward. One of the most frustrating things about life is that it just keeps going forward. Okay? Now, if life were just a car, it would just keep driving forward regardless of a tire being low. It would be regardless of it would still keep going if there was no coolant in the radiator. Okay, now take that situation. You have no coolant in the radiator. That's just like when you get drama in your life, right? Because that just means the situation is generating more heat than your life needs to have at that time. So how do you change your focus? Okay, I'll tell you that it's really as simple as making a decision. Okay, so I'm really big on owning your decisions. They've got to be congruent. It's got to be something internal to you. Okay, and I'll talk about that in another one on how we can do a quick check, real quick, yes or no, on what we think about these decisions. Because so many times in our life, we have made a decision about something and then we knew it was a wrong decision, right? Everybody goes, hey, let's go out tonight. We're gonna go drinking and go get hammered, go do this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, I gotta be up at work later, first thing in the morning. I gotta be at the job, do this and that. And then you go, your voice in your head goes, don't do it. Okay? And then all of a sudden you go, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. And you end up regretting it later going, yeah, I knew I made the wrong decision. So I'm going to talk about that one later, right? On congruent decisions. That'll be the title on that one. So keep an eye out for it. But looking at this, right? All you have to do is decide to say to yourself, look, I am going to only look at the good things that are happening in my life, right? We need to become polarized. So if we're considering the lens story with Mason, right? Polarized lenses do what? They block out all the harmful rays of light that damage your vision and prevent you from seeing clearly long term. Okay, what a great way to look at your life right now. So polarize yourself to only see the good and block out the bad. This may seem a little novel, right, and not able to be accomplished unless you make a real big, great deal of effort. But I just want to show you how your brain works real quick. Can you follow along? So if it's auditory, I want you to listen to it first, then go back and do it, right? If you're driving, don't do this, okay? But everybody else that's watching the video, right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to take your index finger and I want you to bring it really, really close to your eye. And I want you to stare at it. So like someone like me, I'm like, okay, I can see it out here because I've been too much in front of a computer, where I used to be able to go, hey, I can see it right there. But I want you to look at it. I want you to stare at it. I want you to get all of the grooves, the indentations, any scars, anything that's on there. But look right at your fingertip and just stare at it right there. Peaks, valleys, everything. Look intently at it right there and look at every changing pattern in your fingerprint. And while you're focusing on that, while you're burning that into your memory so that you can remember it, I want you to try to picture the color red. Okay? You can't do the two things. Your brain doesn't have picture-in-picture like the TV sets I used to have when I was a kid, right? Well, I didn't have them, but they had them out at that time. But they were real expensive TVs, so you can watch one channel while you watch the big screen on one and a little one in the other one. But our brain doesn't work that way. So if I'm focused on one thing, I can't let the other stuff in. So if you're focusing on the good stuff, then you can't picture the bad situations. Okay? So I want you to do that, and I want you to keep focusing on that. So if you get to pull over and do that, just understand, I want to do this going forward. I want to focus on this. I'm going to give you a little thing to say that's going to help you to program yourself different. Okay? Now, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, okay, or pull out your voice notes or voice to text on your phone like I do this now 100 times a day, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to start saying this to yourself. I choose to look at what is right with my current situation from this point forward, okay? I choose to look at what is right with my current situation from this point forward, okay? Now, this is a mantra. Is this an affirmation? Is this... Guys, you're just talking to yourself and you do it so much already, but you say a bunch of negative things to yourself. I just want you to do something positive, okay? So I just want you to say, I choose to look at what is right with my current situation from this point forward. Why does this work and why is this decision something you can do? Because no matter when you say it, it forgives all the time previous to this where you chose to focus on the negative. And you'll find no resistance from that little voice in your head, the one that keeps talking to you, go, right? In your head, because it speaks of future actions and the actions you're doing right now and your intent going forward. Okay? So that's what I want to remember. Guys, just stop today and clean the lenses, right? If you clean the lenses, how much better is life going to be? I appreciate you.